Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. Tonight, you will be joining Rotting Ricky and Asylum Amy as they play host to some of the true movers and shakers in the indie horror scene. So lock your doors, check under the bed, and get comfortable, because here we go.
And I'm Sylvia Saska, and we're the Saska Sisters, and this is Indie Horror Junkie! Indie Horror Junkie!
Indie Horror Junkie!
Indie Horror Junkie!
Indie Horror Junkie!
Indie Horror Junkie!
Indie Horror Junkie!
Indie Horror Junkie!
We're a panic attack!
Indie Horror Junkie!
Woo! Indie Horror Junkies!
Indie Horror Junkie! Indie Horror Junkie!
What's up, junkies?
What's happening?
Running Ricky in the house. You recovering from MegaCon?
Still a little tired, but I'm getting there.
Oh man, you guys, we are episode number 72 tonight of the Indie Horror Junkie podcast. Molly Zombie in the house. We have special guests tonight, writers, directors, producers, and actors from A House Among the Trees. We're going to get into that soon, but first we have a Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival MegaCon recap, and holy cow, is there a lot to talk about. I told Rick, I was like, I don't even have any notes because my brain's still trying to figure out how to work again. The weekend was insane, completely overwhelmed with all the love and support of the people who traveled in for this film festival. We had filmmakers come in. We had writers, directors, producers, actors. We had Screamboat, The Fetus, The Inn. We screened The Turning. It was just, I'm still processing just how beautiful it was to have everyone there, everyone supporting indie horror films, networking, just watching movies and hanging out. It was just the best time. I'm just still taking it all in. But we do have some pictures to show. We'll kind of roll through them quickly and just give you guys some behind the scenes of what we had going on at MegaCon.
There we go. I know these guys.
You might know these two junkies right here. Rick's, I was kind of making fun of Rick because he's bought these big chains. I'm like, we look like Mr. T, and they were like a hit. They're perfect for photo ops. And by the end of the festival, it's like, we have to order more for next year. Everybody loves them. But this was just kind of kicking off day one. What else you got there, Rick?
MC Rick and DJ Jazzy Amy. Okay.
We've got some cosplayers. We had a lot of cosplayers stop by. We always love them.
And everybody's standing in front of our step and repeat.
I just photo op here our very own Art the Clown cosplayer with our issue number 13 of David Howard Thornton himself from Terrifier 3 on the cover of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine. Shameless plug.
Yes.
We have Joe Fetus here after his screening of The Fetus, starring Lauren Lavera and Bill Moseley. Great crowd and great turnout for that. And he was giving away posters and condoms and you name it. So the condom part, you'll have to see the movie to figure that part out. Otherwise, head over to his socials and take a sneak peek at that. Here we have Stephen Lamorte of Screamboat. This was right before the special fan screening that we did. And let me tell you guys, we had a line wrapped around our entire area and down another entire hallway. We had to get our staff to bring in an extra 100 chairs. I think we packed it out at about 250 people. We had people showing up and showing out, and we had so much fun watching this film, which is going to hit theaters on April the 2nd. Please go tell your friends because it's indie, and the more people that show up on the first weekend it releases, the more of a chance they will get to have an extended release. So make sure that you support our friends at Screamboat and Fuzz on the Lens.
Let's see what else we had here.
More incredible cosplayers, and of course we can't leave Scully out. He was kind of the most popular item.
He really was. Really was.
And we have our buddies from Fuzz on the lens. We've got Stephen De La Sala and Mike Levy. So you know them from Terrifier, from Screenboat, and from Stream.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our winner of the short film Best of the Fest for the film The Package.
The Parcel.
And the Parcel, sorry. See, we go MegaCon brain. The Parcel, which was hands down for the judges. It happened to be the first film I watched at all at the beginning of last year when we started watching these films. And it was the one to beat, and we all agreed. And it was incredible to have the writer and director there to receive this award. That was a lot of fun. So that was our short film. And our Best of the Fest feature film winner was Sigil. And let me tell you guys, these feature films, and the short films, it was hard to decide. Like we had pretty much a tie with the feature film, and Rick and I were the tiebreakers. And it was less than an hour before we announced it that we finally made a choice. But this was our choice, and we're really proud to showcase this film. If you guys have a chance to see it, go check it out. It's just a whole different vibe. And we have Joe Castro here. He was with us at MegaCon. He was there Sunday doing a live demonstration of practical special effects. He just created this entire masterpiece on our buddy Joe Castro. You know him, and you know his little friend Molly Zombie. They kind of go where we go, and he did a live demo, and this is what he created. We all walked around MegaCon, but you know, Joe Castro is just incredible what he does over 40 years in the industry. So if you need somebody for practical special effects, you want to call this guy. Check out his Instagram and his Facebook. He's very active, and he's always sharing his art. So we were definitely honored and humbled to give him that award.
This award right here.
This beautiful, gorgeous award right here. Rick, you did an amazing job designing this. I love it. I love it. Joe actually even showed a picture on his Facebook page. He told me when he goes home, I'm going to put this next to my husband's Emmy, and he did. So we have this beautiful trophy in front of, sitting next to an Emmy. So I'll definitely take that as a compliment. But we're just so thankful that he took the time to come out and spend the weekend with us. We had a blast.
Yeah, well deserving.
Well deserved. And we have Amy Schumacher Lamorte, Stephen Lamorte, Mike Levy, the creatives and the production and the actors behind this incredible up-and-coming indie horror feature film, Screenboat. You guys don't want to miss it. David Howard Thornton is a little mini version of him right here. Look at that. Repping the, Mr. T indie horror junkie keychain. But when you see the film, like, he's supposed to be this little size, and he's this creepy little murderous mouse, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Again, that's going to be in theaters on April the 2nd. Don't miss it. Just more love to Joe Castro here. And if you saw the big brain head that he created, this is our model here, Joe Castro. He reps VFX Effects. That's one of their animatronic dolls. His friend, little Molly Zombie there. So we're always happy to have them at our events. They're a good time. And this is just the beginning of the line that basically started and then wrapped around one hall and wrapped around the other. Everyone excited to come see Screenboat. So definitely feeling the hype and the energy on Saturday night. I think I'm still feeling it.
For sure. I mean, it's a good time with everybody.
Yeah, we got the cast and crew of Mutilator 2, Buddy Cooper, the original writer-director of the 1984 indie horror slasher, The Mutilator. This, we have Bill Hitchcock and Ruthie Martinez from the original cast. We've got Carl Grasso and some of their producers and actors that came along as well. So thank you to them for coming out. We had a screening on Friday night for them. Great horror comedy movie, tons of practical special effects. Actually, Joe Castro did the practical special effects on this project. So it was great to have everybody in the house and get to experience that and experience their panel. And I'm still kind of floating on cloud 9 because it was so much fun. It's everything that I love.
Absolutely.
So with all that being said, we will be opening up submissions for this year, which will be 2026 at MegaCon Orlando next year, which will be in March. But we're about to open up submissions March of this year. So give us a couple weeks to kind of recover, push the magazine out. We're working on our 2-year anniversary cover. How crazy is that? Our 2 anniversary of the magazine. We're excited. But right now we still have issue number 14. You can go to indiehorrorjunkie.com and look who it is. Screenboat. There we go. And kind of a lot of what you saw at the film festival, The Fetus, a big featured article on Screenboat, lots of behind the scenes photos, sneak peeks of David Howard Thornton and his murderous mouse getup. So just a lot of fun. Check it out. We also have Anastasia Elfman in that magazine article, as well as our indie horror hottie, just showcasing all of her art and her dedication to the indie horror community. So just tons of stuff to check out, physical copy, PDF copy. Hit up the website, get whatever issue that you need. But for now, we're gonna switch gears. Oh, no, we're not. We got the clock. Yes, we do. You'll see some familiar faces in this. And Rick was the writer, director, producer on this. This was the first project Rick and I worked on a couple years ago, and we're now worldwide distribution from Baby Entertainment. You can check us out on streaming, but we do have the Blu-rays. We sold quite a few of them over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. You can also head over to our website to pick yours up as well.
And the official release is February 25th through Bayview of the Blu-ray.
Okay, there we go. You got it. You heard it here first.
That's right. Anybody wants any leftover T-shirts? We made some really cool T-shirts.
We've got some T-shirts left over. So if you had a film in the festival, you want to go ahead and grab yours, just hit us up and we'll get it in the mail. I've got mine on tonight. I'm rocking it. You can't see it, but there it is. I love the back. Rick did a good job. We went back and forth about the design, Rick, but you won, and everyone loves the concert tee style. So,
well, I love the beanie you made that you're wearing right now.
Oh yeah, rocking the beanie.
Look at that, huh?
We kind of did some demos of this because Rick and I are beanie wearers, and
yes,
they work. So we'll get some more, and you guys can find those on the website soon as well.
So
yeah, if that's it for house cleaning. We have special guest director Tyler Horner. We have writer, producer, actor Blair Hoyle, and producer, actor Wes Robinson. They are here with us for their indie horror feature film, A House Among the Trees. I watched this last night. It's a lot of fun. We're going to get into it, and we're going to show their trailer right now and then bring them on and just dig into what they got going on and talk all about this film.
All right, here we go.
What the fuck?
I don't know how to explain what we've gotten ourselves into. All I know is that we are gonna have to fight our way out of it. Tooth and nail. We're gonna have to drag ourselves through the dirt. We're gonna have to swallow blood.
The House Among the Trees. My bad. I said A House Among the Trees. But like I said, we have a mega con hangover. Everybody, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you guys here. Yeah, Wes and I are like through the grapevine buddies on Instagram, and I saw him promoting this. I'm like, is this indie horror? I like this. On the trailer, what's going on? Let's talk about it. So thank you guys.
On the film festival. That's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what we just did, but that was a phenomenal weekend, and we can't wait to share even more pictures and behind the scenes. Yeah, Molly Zombie right there. That's the one that had the big brain that Joe Castro did. But yeah, he did an amazing job. It was such an honor. But we're just excited to have you guys on the show. I got into this film last night. Thank you for sending the screener. I'm not going to have any spoilers, but I will say it was a fun watch. I will say that the beginning of it felt very intense, kind of made me get the vibes of the movie Taken.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But then it was like a bait and switch. Then it's, oh my God,
the three. Does it a few times, yeah.
Just the three main actors, and there was just this comedic undertone and lots of fun banter. And I'm like, oh, this has got some comedy to it. So why don't you guys tell us, the premise of the movie and kind of introduce us to this film, and then we'll get more into it.
Yeah, so the movie's about these three guys that break. I mean, to put it very simply, I guess you could say these three guys, they break into this big mansion out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't want to spoil it, but they come across maybe something they really didn't want to, and from there they find themselves going on a journey throughout the movie, highs, lows, So it's a wild ride.
It's got a lot for like every person, really.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Different things. Yeah, I mean, it's got its comedy, like you said. There's definitely like the crime aspect, the horror aspect, some special effects. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe that every movie should be no fewer than 4 genres. So,
What was also scary for me, it was like, okay, you've got these guys. They made the choice to break into this house, but now they're in a real situation that they weren't planning on, that they never would have imagined. And I was thinking, okay, in the moment, like, what would I do? I don't know. Like, but and that's what you guys were trying to figure out. And that's what made it funny. And there's just comedic banter, and you guys are kind of assholes to each other, but you also have each other's backs, and you can tell, you can see the relationship. So as an actor watching it, I can see the relationship between these characters. You guys did a really good job of establishing that. So you're kind of just trying to survive for the rest of this. And it just gets nuts. Like, you take us on this ride. So again, no spoilers, but it just went a whole different direction a couple minutes to the film. And I was like, all right, I'm into this. Bren, our friend Bren, agree with Blair, mixing genres is worth it. Very fun.
Yeah.
yeah, and kind of to piggyback off of that, every time I write a screenplay, I'm usually asking myself a lot of questions that I'm searching for answers within the context of the screenplay. And I think the first one I was really asking myself was like, is there honor among thieves? And can you gain or lose honor amongst thieves when a new element is added into your plan, I guess, without spoiling anything. And I think the original draft of the screenplay was a lot more crime than anything else, and then the new elements got added with each revision. But that was
the first element that's introduced. Then you're forced with the decision: could I or should I?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then whatever way you go, it's going to be, it's going to be a different thing, different outcome. But
that's what I love so much about.
I don't want to give anything away.
About Jack in particular was I'm pretty like used to playing these checkered characters that are a little shady, but he definitely has this trait to him that when it matters, he picks up the the pieces, and his moral compass comes back, and I love that.
I saw some heart there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was really important for me.
Yeah.
I guess in my personal life, I don't see human beings as black and white morality wise.
Not always one-dimensional, man.
And it's like people all have positive qualities and negative qualities. And I believe that fictional characters should represent that as well. And it's sort of like, can criminals be good people?
You guys did a great job not just establishing the characters, establishing the relationship, establishing the characters, just sub-personalities, because 1 second you're in this situation, the next second you're in this situation. It just bounces all around. The pacing was really good. It keeps you excited. Like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next?
Thank you for saying that. We've heard that from several people.
Yeah, it's a fun watch, because there's movies, there's the movies, the psychologicals that like you got to be in the mood to see. And I love psychological horror. Don't get me wrong. I love psychological horror. I love A24, but you got to be in a mood for that. And sometimes I'm just in the mood for a fun, easy watch, a nice horror comedy. But you guys just, it was like this. It was a nice ride. It was fun.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of familiar faces that you guys are really kind of utilizing a lot of great talent in the indie horror community that we're seeing all over the place and up and coming and established. Do you want to kind of tell us about some of the other actors in the film and just recognize them a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, we wanted to go into this picking some familiar faces while also not, to be completely honest with you, because, I get annoyed with seeing the same person in every single movie. So it was very deliberate. However, though, outside of the three guys, we have Molly Souza, we have Bella Ingberg, we have Elsie Holt from Your Next. We've got, who else we got in there? Sorry, I said Elsie. Chris Bailey.
Caitlin Newberry.
Caitlin Newberry, who's fantastic.
We just had her on the podcast for Devour.
Yes, she's wonderful. And
she
does a fantastic job in this film. And when she comes into the film, it's such a great moment and works beautifully. So yeah, I mean, we just have such a great cast, and it.
I'm such a goober right now. I'm drawing a blank. Who plays the mom that comes in and?
Kira Wilson. Yes,
Kira Wilson. Yeah,
she is great too. I
met her on the set from The Boy from Below.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really, really cool. I like her. She was actually just down here in Orlando a couple weeks before we had MegaCon, and I was like, I didn't know you were here. She was here from some other Central Florida film festival. So I'm like, next time we got to meet up. But yeah, she's a great actress. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Kira's awesome.
On and off screen, she's great.
Yeah, she really is a sweetheart. But you guys have an incredible cast.
I was going to say, I've got some stills here. Do you want us to show you the stills and you can kind of give us a little bit about what's going on without giving away too much?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
There she is.
On the left.
Okay, yeah, there's Kira right there on the left. Yeah, and then in the middle is Jonah. He did fantastic as well. And then on the right is Robert. Again, I was so happy with how they took their characters and the ways they went about it. This scene is a little tricky to describe without thing.
Careful now.
I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything. But if Blair and Wes have anything they want to add, feel free to tell us.
That's my head in the middle. That's all.
Let's just leave it at that.
This, I think Blair's going to probably agree with me when I say this. This might be one of our favorite sequences in the movie. At least
this is my favorite sequence in the movie. This is the introduction of Molly and Bella into the film.
Yes.
And I think this scene includes Wes as well. I will spoil that. And I love this scene so much. It's my favorite scene. It was not my favorite scene to write. I did not think it was going to have as much of an impact on me, but seeing it performed, I think it's incredible. And I've said that from the very beginning. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Okay.
There's that comedy.
You know,
what a memeable shot, right?
Right. This is probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And this scene we shot in this location the entire day. And it's a dialogue sequence between the three guys, and they're kind of talking about what just happened and why they're where they are. And I'll kind of get into why I really love this scene. So it's kind of a little bit more behind the scenes. But while we were shooting it, we had to get things done that day. So I told the three guys, I was like, hey, listen, we're going to be doing a lot of one takes. That's just out of one so we can get some things done. But also I wanted to shoot one takes. And I like really capturing people's reactions and things really in the moment and having them really get into it. So that's what we decided to do. Right. And we decided
to clarify, it was a 4-page oneer with a ton of overlapping dialogue.
Wow.
I think there might have been 6. I think it was, what did you say? Around 6 pages maybe or something?
It was a lot. I don't remember
exactly. It was a lot. And it's about 3 to 4 minutes in total front to back that scene. And what you're seeing when you do see it, it's a complete basic one take between these three guys talking for about 3 to 4 minutes, ranting about what they're going to do, why they're where they're at, and all that. So this still in this scene, just, it means a lot to me. The guys did such a great job in it, and I'm really pleased with it. But
now, did you allow improv? Did you allow?
Oh my gosh! So yeah, and I know Blair,
off script doesn't have to be word to word. Just like relay it, get it across, connect.
Yeah, well, and that's the nice thing when you have a writer who is down for that, and I also encourage it as well. I as long as you're getting the beats across and you're getting it across, I'm okay with people veering off, and I think Blair would probably agree.
Yeah, so that was the very first day I worked with Molly. And one of the reasons I like Molly so much and will continue to work with her forever was she is, I think to date, the only actor I've ever worked with who said, I don't like this line. It feels clunky to me. And I knew immediately that she cared about the work she was doing. And
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
why I asked, because Rick and I, we both are directors and actors, and we're real big on collaborating with our actors. Like, if there's a line and it's written a certain way, but it doesn't roll off your tongue and you need to say it a different way, then say it a different way. But once you say it, lock it in, because we've got continuity there. But
absolutely.
But yeah, there's when you give the actors the flexibility and the trust to do their job, and they come prepared and they've done the work before they got to set, I feel like that's when you get the shot.
Yeah,
completely. And it's I feel like only screenwriters who are insecure about the work they're doing feel otherwise.
I agree.
Totally agree.
I agree.
This is another really great moment. It actually it's around the same time as that last frame. And on the left, we got J.D. Starnes, who is fantastic. And I will say this right now. He has a very small role in this film, but boy, does he deliver. And I'm so proud of the work that he did on this. On the right, Chris Faber. He's in a majority of this movie. Again, he knocked it out of the park here. Oh, who's that good looking?
That boy.
Yeah. This is probably my second favorite scene in the film.
It's a great shot.
And it happens right after they break into the house and they find what they find, and they are discussing what to do next. And the energy and the way that Wes performed in this scene was phenomenal, in my opinion. It's just, it goes to show how talented he is. And while I was editing this, he gave me so much to work with. There were moments where I could have made this be the most calm scene in the movie if I really wanted to, or I could make it the most aggressive, or I could make it a mix of both. And he's just so great in this scene, and I was really pleased with the work he did in it.
Thanks,
This
man.
I would agree with that. That was that scene right there showed a lot of range for you, Wes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ooh. How do we talk about this?
I was right here and just say.
I will say, let's see. Okay, yeah, all right. So the man in the middle is our good friend Caleb Wilkinson. Again, a great performance in this movie. I can't really say much else about what's happening in this or what he does. But I
will piggyback and say it was not written for a Caleb Wilkinson type. And he did a million times better than anyone else on the planet would have done.
It was one of those situations where the moment we saw his audition tape, it was a done deal, just like that.
It was it was an instantaneous yes, thumbs up from everyone. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Very nice.
Caitlin, awesome. This is another scene that is a little difficult to discuss.
That's putting it mildly. It's the finale of the movie.
Yeah, this is from the end of the movie. So I don't know really what else to say about this, other than Caitlin's fantastic and she looks kick-ass in this image.
Yeah, another great shot.
She was a great scene partner for me. She got it immediately. As soon as she showed up on set, and then we shot this scene. That was the first time I had met her, and she was like incredible. And I thought we had really good like bantery chemistry together. So
beautiful.
Oh yes. Okay.
The Three Stooges.
Yes,
yes.
This is one of the shots in the movie I really love, and we really like using this for promo. Just I think it really encapsulates what the movie is to some degree, and it's about these three guys and following them on their journey. And I just think this shot it says a lot without saying too much, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Very cool. I think you guys did a great job of explaining everything without giving away the farm.
Right.
It's kind of difficult with this movie. Like anything that happens after the first 10 minutes is kind of a spoiler. So
yeah,
you have to navigate it accordingly.
Now, where did you guys film this at?
Yeah, so big shout out. So our good friend Larry Justice, he owns 60 acres of land south of Atlanta. And last minute, after a quick change of plans to the script and our original location, we got a hold of Larry and we're like, hey man, this is what we got. As a matter of fact, he told me what we had and we kind of adjusted things to that. So a lot of this was just shot on Larry's property and areas around that.
Nothing better than the hookup with the location.
Yes, and the nice thing is too is when somebody owns this property is you can set deck it the way you would like. You can mess things up if you want. You can add whatever you need. It really helps, and it also keeps production streamlined and moved because you're not worrying about other people. You're not worrying about, hey, you got the permits for this or permits for that. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff.
We can say more nice things about Larry. He grew in so many ways, not just location. That man helped us.
He single-handedly saved this movie.
Shout out to Larry. God bless Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
I think every film has just an angel somewhere floating around.
Yeah, Larry was our angel.
He's absolutely our angel.
Here to
I think he's going to keep doing his career in film, from what I understand. And so to see him get to live that experience with us, and I don't know, it was special. So we love it.
Yeah, it was really great.
It was his first movie, I think.
It was
first ever.
That was kind of his break into it. And since then, he's gotten work here and there. So that makes me happy, and that is really cool. Cool. So I'm glad it's worked out for him.
And how long was this process? Did you guys shoot continuously? Were you shooting on the weekends? How many days did you take up with this?
Yeah, so we shot.
Everyone's laughing.
Yeah.
We shot for a day and a half in June.
Yeah, we shot literally the first 15 minutes of this movie.
There's no rules. If this is indie, you shoot when you shoot.
we shot the first like Blair said, day and a half, which was the first 15 minutes of the movie back in June. And then we used that to basically raise money to film the rest. And so then I believe it was in November.
It was 14 days in November.
There it is. Yep.
Did you shoot a teaser trailer?
Yeah.
No, it was the first 15 minutes of the movie.
That is what
crowdfunded.
Well, when we were thinking about it, I kept looking at Indiegogos and I was like, all of these look amazing. What is it that they don't have that maybe would be a nice hook other than a trailer? And I was like, what if we just put the first 10 to 15 minutes in there and go for it and see and end it with a hook? And that's what we did. And I think it worked out and helped us.
That's really smart because there's a lot going on in the first 15 minutes, but it's enough to let the audience know what they're in for. And it's enough to make them want to see the rest of it. That's really smart.
Kind of how we went about it.
I told them, I was like, you guys, because they came to me with that idea and I was like, that's awesome. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be, but I've never really seen anybody do it that way. I mean, not that I know, but I felt that was a really ballsy move. Be like, here's 15 minutes, help us fund the rest. I mean, if you don't love what you're watching, what makes you want to fund the rest? So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but we got funded and we made the movie. So
yeah, Mary King, she's a huge horror. She watches all the horror. She's actually one of our judges, her and her husband, for our film festival. So shout out, you guys are amazing. Nice. They were there this weekend, but she's like, hey, that's smart. It is smart.
I was going to say, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I was going to say real quick that kind of what you were talking about. It wasn't to raise money, but I remember do you remember the remake of Dawn of the Dead? The one
yes.
Zombies? Before that one came out, I remember it was a week or maybe 2 weeks before the movie came out. They actually had some thing on NBC or whatever it was where they showed the first 5 minutes of the movie. So you saw it right up until the opening credits or whatever. And I remember they talked about how much excitement that built for the movie. So that was a great idea, absolutely, especially for raising funding, because then you're showing people that the people you're looking to get the funding from, that this is what we're capable of. Look at how great it looks. Look at everything else.
Yeah.
I think it instills that confidence. That's a brilliant move.
Exactly. That's what I was like, this is what you're going to see when you watch the movie. And that's how I wanted people to feel like that. I wanted them to know hey, because it's always tricky when you do Indiegogos, especially when you're trying to raise money. Yep. You want people to feel confident with with the money they're spending, to be quite honest. And I appreciate you guys for complimenting on that, because it was like Les said, it was kind of ballsy and it was a risk. And I'm glad that it seems like to some degree it has paid off.
I think it works specifically in the horror genre because we all know that the horror community, we're all nuts. We like something, we love movies. We just want to watch horror movies over and over again. And there's so many different subgenres. So when something hits, you can build an audience pretty quick if you've done the job right. So that was brilliant. Props to you. And Wes is right. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
So,
sometime, but
how long did you guys actually shoot? Did we mention that?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks of principal photography. Yeah.
2 weeks of principal photography. Okay. Yeah, that's decent. That's a lot of hard
I
work.
mean, like when you think about like you guys saw the first 15 minutes of the movie. We did that in a day and a half.
I was gonna say that's pretty good. Day and a half, 15 minutes.
Yeah. So
we had scheduled for 2 days and then could not shoot the entirety of the 2 days for the same reason that we had to call up Larry Justice.
12 days is tight, but we shot the end in 12 days.
Oh wow.
I think it might be around the same run time. Yeah, we were nuts. We were at a hotel, and me and the Greasy Boys were 3 producers on it. We all lived boom, 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 like next door to each other in this hotel for 2 weeks. And then the Sandman, he's like our lead serial killer. We had him stay with us too. And then the actors were kind of in and out, but we lived on set, which I think enabled us to be able to do it in such a short period of time.
Absolutely.
But it worked. But that 12 days is tight. It is tight. But you have that just as compliments to the pre-production process, because you're going to be well organized and have your shot list and your scheduling and everything ready to go to make it happen. So it sounds like you guys did a great pre-production as well to pull that off.
We shot the clock in 5 days, and not only that, but we shot 5 days in a haunted house. Come on,
that was nuts. I don't recommend it, but yeah, and that was our first project. Here I am.
If you don't mind me asking, what's the runtime looking like for you?
The runtime for the clock is about 78 minutes.
Oh, right on.
Damn.
That was a lot of handheld, like just continuous shots. I could say that's how you get a lot in that amount of days. But we shot in this historic home, and the owner, she stayed in the house the entire time, and she just was like, "Yeah, you can have 5 days." So we're like, okay. So it was almost like we treated it as the film challenge, and that was a very collaborative. We had a micro budget. When you watch this film, you'd throw up if you knew how micro budget it was, because it's so cinematic. We had an incredible DP on set. He was awesome. Great with all the post production, with the editing, with the VFX. We kind of pulled in, even though it was my first time working with Rick. There's a group of, like you have your Central Florida we have great actors between Tampa and Orlando. So you kind of know who you're working with.
Yeah.
And just pulling the right people together that, will show up and know how to do their job. So great cast, great crew, but yeah, we knocked it out in 5 days. Don't recommend it, but we did. But 12 is still tight too.
Yeah. Pre-production. I mean, if you have everything together, you can do more. And like you said, I mean, I guess if you handheld it a little bit as well, but for us, we had like, the first 15 was just the 3 guys primarily. And I feel like we were prepared, and like our chemistry was there like from the beginning. So it moved pretty well. And even the shots that we had to kind of get in a tighter time frame, we'd improv, or, we'd make it happen.
And big shout out to Jake Capronica as well. That's another reason why our set ran so smoothly. He planned everything to a T as first AD. It was great. I can't say enough good things about him on set. He's fantastic. And
there's nothing better than a first AD who can do their job. Isn't that right, Rick?
Pre-production is basically made in pre-production. So if you got everything done the way you need to get it done, the moment you get on set, it just goes like clockwork, and you need that, especially in the indie horror world.
Yeah. 100%. And that's the kind of stuff we want to talk about on this show is, like the production side, that there's actors watching this. There's, people that are new into filming that are watching this. Like, you want a production team that can work with each other before you guys even get on set. You want the first AD and the director working with, the cinematographer, so you guys can coordinate your shot list with your scheduling and just boom, 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 get in there and get it done. So I am impressed that you did this film in 12 days. That's really cool.
Thank you.
What was the biggest challenge of this film, would you say, besides the location issue?
Honestly, some of the late nights, probably, if I'm being honest. I mean, there were some nights where we were shooting outside in the freezing cold. You could see your breath, man. Like that to me, at least, like it
You weren't rolling around in the mud in that cold weather, Tyler.
I'm not saying that it was bad for me per se.
Like, how late in the morning did you guys roll into?
Oh,
man.
Sunrise. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I understand the same thing with the end. So you're not only are you running this tight production schedule, but now when you should be sleeping, you're working, and you get a little cuckoo between 2 and 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you start to physically and mentally feel it. You're like, oh, but then you kind of get over that hump. But
I'm curious though, Wes, Blair, I'm curious, was there anything that, from your guys' perspective?
I mean, this is just a conceit that you like have with every independent project is there's never enough time. Like even if we had 3 months, it wouldn't have been enough time. Like
not enough time, not enough money.
You schedule for the time you're given, and then you like realize last minute, I wish I had more time to do this. So like there were certain scenes where we had time for one take and nail it.
Yeah, right.
And there's one scene in the movie and that I have to make a phone call. And it's outside and the sun was going
I like
down.
that scene. That's funny.
And Tyler walked up to me and was like, we have time for one. I'm sorry, man.
That was the one take because you guys did it. That was
like, yeah, I'm not joking. Like, it's like we gotta go.
Yeah, and it's like as an actor, and I mean, this is like the second movie I've ever acted in, really. So like
really, wow.
And then the sort of
great actor.
Thank you very much. But I was kind of like I was nervous about being off book just because it's not something I've a lot of experience with, even as the writer, like being off my own book.
I feel like it's harder when you're the writer.
I have to agree with that. I've since acted in other people's screenplays or acted reading other people's screenplays, and I have an easier time remembering other people's words, I guess.
Yeah, there's something there with that. I have the same thing, but yeah.
But doing that scene in one take, I was very nervous about it, and I still am like self-conscious about that one. People seem to like it, so it all worked out fine.
It's a great scene. You guys did a good job. It was fun.
Thank you.
I had this thing where there's a lot of stuff with Jack that's intense, and I decided to make it as intense as possible during certain portions. So I did quite a lot of screaming, grunting, making loud noises, and then I lost my voice. So that was a challenge. That was fun. And there's clips of that somewhere, like lingering around.
I had no voice after MegaCon. I can relate.
So yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah, there's a few takes there in the vault of Wes definitely losing his voice mid sentence.
Yeah, we haven't sent it in the group chat 45 times yet. I mean,
yeah.
And you're so helpless. You just like you hear it dying, and there's nothing you can do, and it's just slowly dying in your throat. You're like, it's about to be gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But Wes's intensity is like one of, if not the most important aspect of this movie. Because like, I mean, I'm doing this like Don Knotts comedy performance.
Yeah.
Cullen is like kind of like the most amoral character in the trio, I would say. And Jack, Wes's character, kind of walks a very interesting tightrope between amoral and immoral. Like, and then kind of maybe the moral good of the movie.
Yeah.
If you have that perspective.
Which is awesome.
And the contrast of the three of you make it so fun to watch.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's so freaking fun to watch. Like, and you catch that in the first 5 minutes of the film.
I think that's one of the more interesting things. Like, people assume that all of us have known each other for a long time.
It feels that way. That goes back to the relationship aspect of you three as actors. That's so important to show the relationship between, your characters, and you literally established it within the first 5 minutes.
I'm so happy it works for people because like Wes and I had met in March of that year before we shot in June.
Yeah, we all met at the same
Wes
time.
and I met Cullen on day one.
Yeah.
So like, we had never even met before we started shooting. So
I don't think we even I don't think we spoke at all before that. Me and Cullen, I can't remember.
No, I
don't think you did. No, yeah.
That's great chemistry.
Yeah, it was.
Cullen didn't know I was the writer.
Yeah, Cullen.
And what was cool too is, like I said, Blair's really relaxed, so we were able to play off each other quite a bit. And some of the stuff that we would come up with.
When everyone does the work at home and you can get on set and play, that's when it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another thing I kind of want to add to that too is I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Detroit Rock City or not, but shout out to that movie. It was kind of a bit of an inspiration for us in some regard while making this.
A bit is underselling it.
It is underselling it, but I love that movie so much, and it follows these 4 guys, and they're going to a Kiss concert basically, and as they're
is that Mark Wahlberg?
No, it's Edward Furlong is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it was way off.
We've kind of follow a similar path in how those guys kind of branch and do their thing, and it's really fun. And getting kind of circling back to what you were saying here, I love that we can go from the 3 guys doing their thing together, and then they can kind of do their own thing, and then they can as well come back and still knock it out of the park. So it's really fun to see them do that. Especially this was my first feature, so
very cool.
And Wes it's just fantastic, and everybody that was a part of it was fantastic, and it was so interesting for me because I've never seen that really. I've never been in the shoes like this or anything, so it was just really cool to be able to watch people do their thing and do it really well, and have fun with it. So it was cool.
I mean, you guys are just out here doing it. You guys are collaborating really beautifully, and it just works. The energy behind it, the effort behind it, it's there. Rick and I will get with you after this podcast because this is definitely going in the magazine. We want to continue to promote this film and what you guys are doing.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah. So we'll get with you. We'll get BTS. We'll just do a nice featured article.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Get this out there. Welcome to Indie Horror Junkie. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
We want to promote the indie films, and like you guys are doing it. It's a really, really good film. Like I was excited watching it, because we watch a lot of films. We just watched however many films, last year for the film festival, and there's certain films that you connect with and you get excited about. So we'll definitely be doing that. Let's talk more about the post-production and marketing aspect of this journey. You guys are getting ready to hit up some film festivals at the end of the month, or not the end of the month, like the 22nd, 23rd.
Yeah.
You guys have a screening at Days of the Dead Atlanta. Do you want to tell us about that? This is your first premiere?
Yeah, it is the world premiere of the movie. Yeah. So if you're in the area, in Atlanta, come on out to it. We're super excited. I think, it took a little bit of time for us to get the movie finished up and ready, but that's because we just were taking our time with it and really wanted to make sure that everything was as good as it could possibly be. And I think 2025 Days of the Dead is a really good year for it. And it's also centrally located to where most of it was filmed and the actors and talent, cast crew are from. So that was kind of why we wanted to premiere it there. So we're really grateful that Days of the Dead is allowing us to premiere there. So you
guys have a great turnout. I have a ton of friends that are going to be there, so I'm going to send them over for your screening. I'm sad that I can't go, but I can't go. So I'll have to you guys are also have a Nebraska screening and a Spring Lane Film Festival screening. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I'm going to let Blair talk about the Spring Lane. I'll kind of talk about the Nebraska one. The Nebraska one, it's going to be fantastic. So this is actually in my hometown. It's going to be at a theater that I grew up going to movies at. And,
no way. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really old historic theater. It's beautiful, and it means a lot to me. And so we were able to get a screening set up there. So we have tickets on sale right now. If you go to Eye for Eye Productions Instagram, you can click the link in there, and there'll be tickets there to snag those if you're in the Nebraska area.
Very cool.
And Spring Lane is one of my favorite regional film festivals in the world now. Spring Lane's always
I've honestly never heard about it, so I'm interested for you to tell us.
Their very first year, they premiered the first movie I acted in, which I was not able to attend because I was making a movie with these two.
Not a bad problem to have.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that.
And then the next year, they did a repertory screening of the first movie I ever wrote and directed. And then last year, they played another movie I acted in. And this year, we'll be playing House Among the Trees. So I'm kind of you can't avoid me at this festival.
Are they in your hometown as well, or they're just super supportive?
No. Yeah, just happen to hopefully actually enjoy the work I'm doing. And it's
is it horror specific, the festival, or all genres?
It's all genres, but with a genre tint for sure.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of fun. You guys be bouncing around doing your thing. We'll get you some magazines and you can pimp those out and show everybody what you've been doing.
We're trying to take this thing all over the world, and we'll
we
have
have multiple festivals that are, hopefully.
We'll hopefully have some news on the all over the world.
I was just going to ask.
Well, if you guys end up in Florida, go ahead, Rick.
I was going to ask you, with regards to the film festival circuit that you're going to take it on, what is your process for determining that? Is it just trying to blanket as many film festivals as you can? Are you being real selective? And if so, how did you determine that selection process?
I want to play this movie in people's garages. Like, if you want to put on a screening of House Among the Trees, we're interested.
Yep.
And previously, I've been maybe a little too precious with where I've screened other films. And with this one, I think it's a movie that needs to be enjoyed with a crowd of people. And I don't care where that crowd of people is.
Yep. That's why we're taking it everywhere in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska.
Maybe we can get them down here when we do the cast and crew screening for the end, because we want to do The Turning, which Rick wrote and we co-directed, co-produced. Incredible acting. That's our short film. It's a horror zombie kind of found footage, but just incredible actors in that. Because we were talking over the weekend, because the end's going to do another premiere after we do like our final draft and final tightening, polishing up on it. We're like, let's just do it together. So if you guys want to come down to Florida, maybe we'll just throw you in the theater with us.
When are you doing that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't have a date yet. It'll be I'll keep in touch once we start throwing stuff around.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a brand new theater in the area, and we've had some other filmmakers in the community that have done screenings there, and they've worked really well with it, and it's not outrageous, and it's very nice, and I think it would be a lot of fun. It's in a great area, so that's kind of what we're going for, but I'll definitely let you guys know.
Please do.
Yeah, please.
I think we should just turn it into a little event, Rick, because we're
everything
we turn it into an event.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's what happened with the film festival. And then it was just our films for the film festival. And then we had different guests that were in the magazine and on the podcast. We're like, hey, we have this film festival. You could come show your movie. And then all of a sudden, everybody started saying yes. And we're like, oh my God, it's a party now. So that's how we ended up with 4 screenings. 2 of them were screenings that were for films that are getting a theatrical release. So it was kind of a sneak preview with Screenboat and The Fetus. And, you don't know till you ask. And it turned out to be a big party. So we might just have to have another party for the end and The Turning. And
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think Howard that just commented, we would love to come and meet you and chat with you as well, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Howard's so cool. Howard was, he showed up on set the day that we shot The Turning.
Oh, great.
We needed zombies. We needed local zombies who do cosplay, who can show up camera ready. We don't have a budget to do everybody's zombie practical special effects. We just have that for the main actors. Oh my God, he showed up. I took one look at him and I turned around and looked at Rick. I was like, that's our featured zombie. He looks so good. His daughter did the makeup. So when you watch the film, I know you don't have a picture of it, Rick.
I'm looking for it right now. I will grab it.
I haven't unpacked yet, but he does this arm bite on Lance, our lead actor, and that's kind of sets the tone for the whole film, and everybody goes into chaos. But he just looks so good. So shout out to Howard.
That's awesome.
And Howard is somebody who just watched our podcast and followed what we do, and we're like, hey, we need zombies, and he came out and showed up, and now he's in one of our movies. So you just never know.
Cool. Like that's why oh my God.
There it is.
There's Howard.
There's Howard.
Okay, Howard, we see you.
Right? He just showed up like that, and I was like, what? Rick, put him in the front.
Yep.
Oh my, he showed up just like that?
Yes.
We had a zombie call, and he came out all zombie up.
Everything.
Big shout out.
All we did was put a little blood in his mouth. Howard, we love you, but all we did was put a little blood in his mouth for when he did the bite, and that was it. He showed up looking like that. The contacts, everything. So I'm like,
fan base.
Push him to the front.
That's so cool. That's what I love about, especially independent horror and just horror
community
and doing stuff like this is the people that you meet along the way. And it's and just like what we're doing right now, like this is so cool, and we're so honored to be on this show. Seriously. So
yeah, thank you.
Happy to have you guys.
So cool people that you're able to meet, and there he goes. Drove 2 hours down.
Turning into the Howard show.
I just love you eating pizza looking like that. But we have some of the best community out here in Central Florida. We have a ton of cosplayers. We have a ton of haunts. Sir Henry Haunted Trail is the main haunt out here in Central Florida. We love supporting them. They support us. I actually shot a film there before on their property, but they are one of the top haunts in Central Florida. Their production.
I'm a massive haunt guy.
Yeah. They're getting ready. You'll check my stories the next couple of days because I'm be promoting them. They do because they do a Valentine haunt. They do Halloween, Christmas, and Halloween. Loves Revenge. So shout out to Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. Loves Revenge. It's going to be happening this week, the 13th. No, the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th. I think I got that right. I don't know, but just go to sirhenrys.com and you'll check it out. Get your tickets online. But yeah, there's just a ton, and we're here near Orlando where you have Halloween Horror Nights. There's just cosplayers everywhere. So you just put a little thing out, we're shooting a movie, and they just show up. It's pretty cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
Universe coming too.
Huh?
And we have Epic Universe coming too now.
Oh, check out Epic Universe. It's an extension of Universal Studios. They have a whole Monsters universe. They have Mario universe. They have another extension of Harry Potter because that's already over at
You're talking about Universal Orlando?
Yep.
This is in Orlando. It opens up at May. You bet your ass I already got my tickets because I'm a But and they also have How to Train Your Dragon. But their Monsters universe, like they literally have like hotels and parks and restaurants that are themed for just the Universal monsters.
Yep.
That's cool.
Wow.
So we'll have to make it a trip. We'll do the premiere. We'll go to
Orlando.
Yeah. Do a little road trip.
Tell us the date.
Oh yeah,
I'll have
we'll
to
get it
map
worked out
this
for sure.
because Rick knows I like a good party. All right, so we've got a couple more minutes. Why don't you guys tell us where we can find you on socials? I know you're on Facebook and Instagram, Eye for an Eye Productions, correct?
Yep.
And then
same thing for go. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you guys plug yourselves. Dig in there.
Yeah. So on Facebook, it's we have Eye for Eye on there, but primarily if you want to follow House Among the Trees stuff, just type in House Among the Trees - horror film, and I'm sure you'll find it there. We post any and all updates regarding the film. Same thing on Instagram. If you follow Eye for Eye Productions, we post everything on there as well as Simpatico Pictures, Buckshot 97, and oh my gosh, Jaren's gonna hate me right now.
Good Spirits.
Thank you.
And Soft Sick Sound.
Yes, and Soft. Yes. So you can see everything being posted on there as well. Everybody's sharing it and all that good stuff. So, and then my personal is just Tyler Horner with 2 R's and Tyler.
It did have 2 R's. Threw me off.
I'm Blair _Hoyle on everything. So
there you go.
And I'm what'd you say?
To talk to me about movies. I never shut up about them. So.
Just look behind them.
I'm Wes.Robinson on Instagram. So yeah.
There you go. Well, you guys are just out here doing it. We're proud of you. We want to support you. Keep going. Keep going. If you guys can pull this off, and this is your first feature, and this is your first or second time acting, and Wes, we're to know what you can do. Your range is insane. So just keep going. Keep making your films. Keep making your art. Keep telling stories because, we love it, and the indie horror community loves it. Do you guys really like to stick with horror, you think, or are there going to be some other genres that you're going to get into, or is horror kind of where it's at?
I think most people would say that the movies that I've made in the past aren't really horror. It's just people talking. It's just depends on who you ask, I suppose. But anything character driven, I'm interested in. But I think everything I've done has a little bit of horror in it. So
yeah, I mean, most of the stuff that we've all done is relatively horror, or at least kind of what we're known for is horror related stuff. However, I think we're open to doing everything. I mean, I know I am. I want to do comedy. I want to do this. I want to do that. I kind of want to just do a little bit of everything and see what I like, what I don't like. Because I think each genre has a different way of going about it, either directing wise, and so I'm just excited to kind of, I guess, in other terms, play in that sandbox and figure out,
Yeah, and keep blending it. Blending it is fun.
Yeah, and that's kind of in house what we want to do is blend, blur that line of exactly. Of course, this movie is like a thriller kind of horror, but at times we wanted to blur that line with the comedy element of it.
It worked.
Thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, we're going to throw you guys back into the green room and give you a proper goodbye once we go off. But thank you so much for coming on the Indie Horror.
Thank you so much for having us.
Number 72. You guys keep an eye out for The House Among the Trees. If you're going to be in Atlanta in 2 weeks, check them out at Days of the Dead.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll chat in just a few minutes.
Sounds great.
Oh, I am definitely still on a MegaCon high. Can you feel it?
Oh, I'm telling you, it's going to be a couple days before.
Once I took a nice long nap for a day, I'm like, I'm ready to go.
But I love hearing you say, let's have another party here. So,
let's have another party. Let's keep having events. Let's, the indie horror hookup, should we say. Yes, Mary, excellent guest. Like I said, I just, I know Wes from other projects. We have mutual friends that are the industry. And I just kind of saw this trailer and watching it, was like, what the heck is this? Let me message Wes and see what's going on. So we definitely got to cover these guys and what they're doing. We'll get with them and figure out a good issue to feature them. But excited to see what they're doing. Check them out at Days of the Dead. Check them out Nebraska screening and the Spring Lane Film Festival screening. Go to their socials so you can keep up. And next week we have Anastasia Elfman back on the show. We love her. We've had her on before, but she was issue number 14, our indie horror hottie. She's an incredible performer. The way that she interprets her art is very specific and it's cosmic, and you just want to learn more about it. And that's why we're featuring her again. We're going to bring her back on. So definitely tune into that because she's incredible and we're super, super excited. But that's it for tonight. Rod and Ricky.
All right. We will see you next Wednesday.